good here for Tempo Storm, but we're going to be figuring out where we're going for Battleground number 2. Turns out Dragonshire is the choice. Tempo Storm bringing out their new favorite here in 2018.
Letting Dragonshire through against Tempo Storm, it's such a surprise to me. They are not good, they are not great, they are dominant on this map. It is by far their best of any map. The fact that teams let it through, a bit surprising.
I would say, personally, I feel like, at least when looking at data before the Western Clash, especially out of Tempo Storm and North America's take on Dragonshire, Tempo is the only team that understands when to apply pressure top or bottom. And more importantly, when they apply pressure bottom, they don't just kind of apply pressure bottom. They destroy you on the bottom half. When I was talking about that, they'll control Bermuda Triangle, and then if they think, oh, that's not enough, you're going to take the safe giant rotation, they'll invade that, and they'll go farther and farther into your side to make it limiting. And the counterplay to that, pressuring the top half. Very few teams, I think, are good enough to be able to get that type of punishment. That being said, I feel like there's still a lot. Tempo is dominant on Dragonshire, and it's a bold move. But I'm trying to say that I do think there is moments of mortality. I was going to say morality. I'm like, this isn't an ethical debate. Mortality. There are moments of that where they are human here on Dragonshire. And I think a lot of that's got to be simplicity. If we're going to see that moment, it's going to be, number one, controlling the Hanzo if it's at any point going to be in the hands of Psalm. And number two is making sure that they control the 4-man. Make sure they get a lot of kill potential within that.
But one of the fun things and most oppressive things that we see Tempo Storm do on this battleground is if they run a Malfterial, look for them about that early mid game period to where you can rotate, force out the rotation as you said, and then they'll rotate down. If the bottom Knights are available, they'll double up on Siege Giants and Knights. And they've used that to not just walk through just the fort wall, but through the fort and all the way through the keep wall. And they do that by using Malfurion's regrowth directly onto some of those minions. And then whenever that's kind of cycled through, they use the Tyrael shielding. And that's something that they've done throughout the early part of this year. Obviously, we're seeing a little bit of a change in the meta, so I wonder if they do get both of those, then you have to be fearful of that rotation. It's a little bit perfect scenario, and I guess if Malfurion is one of those keys, you take it away.
I think another thing that Simplicity might be looking for, again, on the cycle of bottom versus top, where that pressure is going to go, is got to be looking towards Glarong in the top half. If they can find a way to get him on something a little bit squishier, you know, on those off lanes, I mean, let's be real here. Statistically and over the performance so far of Tempo Storm, the biggest weakness, it does feel like it is, can you catch out Glarong on that side lane? So Dragonshire is a map that can reward that play style. It's not like you're just getting picked for nothing. You're controlling a lot of the map. Might see them make that adjustment there. Stukov's going to be the ban. Is it first pick Malfurion Simplicity after that Stukov ban?
I mean, K1 Pro was one of the early adopters of Stukov. We've seen him in the past on Dragonshire kind of use that to control. Instead, we forgot Medivh making his way through, and that is going to be Hosty's pickup. Maev's going to be an instant lock, and they do get that Malfurion. So if I'm a Simplicity, I need a Tyrael here.
I completely agree with you. And then out of this trade-off, do you feel like, man, this is really interesting. Is the Medivh worth the trade-off? Because you just essentially gave up the support choke before even getting to the second ban phase. So you gave Tempo Storm a free ban, and the Medivh has to get that outweigh for it. What I'm trying to highlight here is through that Stukov ban on the side of Tempo Storm, they've done what a lot of the teams are looking to do in the second ban phase already throughout the first by baiting that Medivh. And it's just that trade-off is worth it. And the Medivh is not that big of an impact. It's going to be a huge power play for Tempo Storm in this draft. It's a pretty clever one. One that, I mean, Simplicity walked into with the Garrosh ban. By no means is this like, oh, what are they thinking? They very much should have assumed this so far, but it's always cool when we see this kind of fluctuation in the meta, especially when we get one as rigid as the one we currently are on.
Well, the fact that they did take away the Garrosh availability, I mean, that's got to show some planning. Again, the Tyrael, if you're not going to pick the Tyrael, maybe make that ban towards that. So they get the stitches. They're going to try the old pick, hook, gorge, portal comp. And I think that now, if they are looking at that, I think this has to be a way for them to maybe just ban out the Tyrael and just kind of play that choke on the Warriors. But then you have to think potentially Johanna coming out in response to that.
We're going to have Psalm on the Maiev, right? We only have one Maiev from Tempo.
Yeah, Psalm.
But we have 2 Hanzos out of Tempo.
Psalm had his birthday celebrated by the Maiev release. He also was on the feature with Blizzard when they talked about my fan was on this last one with Phoenix, who will soon be here, I think, in a couple weeks. I actually don't know the patch rotation yet. I know next week we're still on this patch. But Phoenix, damage-wise, he's pretty good.
Yeah.
We'll see where he ends up by the time he comes to HGC.
Tempo Storm, what do they want to take off the table here? Top lane is going to be into the Malthael. They know the Medivh Stitches is a part of the 4-man. Maybe a Junkrat if they're considering wave clear to be a problem. No, instead it's going to be that Greymane for that execution after the case, plus the synergy with the Malthael. It's pretty much one shot, one kill.
They're hovering the Diablo.
This is going to be the third Diablo we've seen in the second ban phase, just in today alone, without a point-and-click target or any direct, oh, Diablo is a heavy counter against this in any way, shape, or form. On second time that it's been on a map that I would argue he has nothing other than being a part of the kill potential in the 4-man.
I agree.
It's very surprising to see this here in out of North America. What I'm trying to say is that there's obviously a surprising amount of value being applied to Diablo currently within the kind of thought process of these players. And we're yet to really see it come to light, even though it's, again, seeing that attention in the bans.
The Greymane, I like a lot. You know, we've kind of seen the combo where you get the hook gorge, you go through the portal, you get the poly bomb onto whoever that target is, and that's when you can kind of get the curse bullet into the last rites. Make sure you get that blow-up kill. So Greymane being taken out of that equation. We'll see where Simplicity wants to go after that. You mentioned the Hanzo. Hanzo's still available here. That would be fan on that hero.
I want to see Tempo pick up the Hanzo purely based on how much control that gives them on the map. Their play on Hanzo on Dragonshire is unrivaled. If you think that Dragonshire is, you know, on a kind of a tier of its own. Blaze for that off lane. What do we get? No backliner yet. Johanna. With the Johanna, you can assume that's still to either be a Hanzo, a Jaina, or what other synergy with Johanna am I missing here?
Cassia.
I mean, they do already have Blaze. Cassie is another good one. There's not enough auto attackers on the other side for me to assume, though, it's going to be a Cassia.
You know, they could just go the Junkrat because to deal with the Medivh portals.
That's a good point. Yeah, now that you say that, actually probably a Junkrat for the Medivh.
Yeah, and I think they have enough setup that even though Junkrat doesn't have that burst damage, I think he can still get a decent amount, because if you get the Condemn into a Blaze charge, this is obviously late game, the Maiev tethers, and then the Malfurion roots, then maybe you can just kind of get that Junkrat to go in there. Hanzo going to be picked up on the side of Simplicity. Still need a support.
Don't know why we expected anything different. Lily.
If this is anything other than Junkrat, I'd be surprised.
Hit me with the old Kael'thas. This is a KT game if I ever seen one.
Oh, you're going to run away with that target?
Sorry, not KT. Kael'thas. No, I forgot that we have Kel'Thuzad. You can't say KT because then everybody gets confused.
Right, because Kel'Thuzad is KTZ. I got you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Tracer.
That is not what I expected.
At all.
Huh.
To be honest, I look at this and I go, Tempo, you got generally pretty strong heroes within the meta. Your Tempo Storm against Simplicity here. They're running a pretty linear composition in terms of how it has to play out. I don't feel like there's any pick in that last slot where I go, I don't think Tempo has it. I think Tempo's got it, but I do look at that and go,
maybe not as much as I thought before.
Yeah, it's a bit curious. I feel like it's just going, we're better than you, so we're just going to kill you. Maiev Tracer in the 4. Blaze can hold his own in the off lane. Can you survive? The answer is probably going to be a no. Even more so when, again, with this composition, it's pretty much all about the... Every 16 seconds, Tempo Storm's going to be extremely offensive. And then they're going to wait until they see the hook, call it out, wear it, iron skin, and say, back to business, boys.
The one thing that is a little bit different, obviously, picking a Tracer into a Medivh when Medivh had 5-second Force of Wills was pretty terrible. Now they're 8 seconds, so you have a little bit of a bigger window. We'll see if we can find those, which I imagine that will be fan on that Tracer.
Also, we have Hosi back on that, you know, Medivh, back with the Lili synergy. Not so much synergy, but I guess pairing is probably the better way to put it here.
You could just say random pairing, and I'd agree.
It's just, it's so hard to believe that Lili is here to stay.
Something about that Medivh pairing. I mean, it's undefeated so far. If it works against Tempo Storm,
I mean, yeah, that's a
then
statement. That's
nobody can say that
no,
it's.
I'm a lead. In the words I think of, Gillyweed kind of claimed this, the believer. And if you can become one.
Oh my!
I know that was a struggle for when she brought that up originally the first time. I was like, yeah, I don't know if I can even get that one out. Hold up though, Priz gonna be pulled back. No portal yet. Ended up making it there with Glarung applying the pressure with that oil spill. I didn't see it. What are we?
Why did I see 4 portals?
That's a good question. I didn't see 4 portals, so
I don't know what just happened.
Okay, so Jayhao is actually suffering from a stroke.
That actually happened.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe I missed it.
Dread was tying his shoes. He didn't see anything. Look, maybe I'm crazy. Either way, he did go with the self-placement of the portal.
Only going to be 1 portal that time. Hook comes out. Not going to connect. And, you know, for anybody wondering maybe with the stitches how to play against it, what you're looking for is just use that internal clock up above every time you hear that beautiful audio cue. You don't even have to be exact. You can just round to the closest thing on the 5 or 0 and then just roughly go, hey, add 10 to this. And at that time point, that's when I'm going to start being scared. You can even take the overly safe route. Just keep track of that. Especially when you're against a composition with the Medivh on top of it, when all of it hinges on how is the hook combo going to work. Tempo, end up committing there with the follow-up. Tether going to land on the 1. Kattle's going to start the channel. Cap, not going to let that happen. Neither is Leadley and Hanzo on bottom, as they claim that shrine for themselves.
Going to hold it down for now, but with simplicity. Obviously, they're trying to clear this up. Looks like Cattle and team are going to go ahead and rotate down. Zuna taking a little bit of pressure. Fan going in, gets the melee attack, just dodges those roots, which we do see the vengeful roots. So a little bit of broccoli coming out here by favorite for June.
Double shrine control again for Tempo. Blaze Mouthfell 1 versus 1 rages on. I love this. You know, side lanes. They're one of my favorite things to watch.
That's why Wubby is my favorite player, man.
Yeah. Oh, invade. Or more flank, if you will.
I think Fan, he's trying to trigger that force of will. You know, he's got the pulse bomb. He's sitting on it. If he can force that out, look for him to follow up on that. Hosty taking so much damage. That's why he's still not using the pulse bomb. He ended up trying to find an opportunity there, seeing if he could force Hosty to use that force of will on himself, find another target. Instead, wasn't able to thread the needle. Ended up getting hit.
Cap's going to get flanked by Cattle now. That's probably going to be a dead Stitches on mid. I feel like very little distance to be able to run. You know, I don't know why I say that. Whenever there's a Medivh in the game, there's always a portal.
There is always hope.
Isn't that Ariel?
Yes.
I don't play with voice lines on, so some of that stuff is a bit of a mess.
I just remember it from the trailer. She actually had a really good trailer, whatever we call those things. Character highlight, whatever they were. It was really good. I like it.
I think it's Hero Spotlight? Maybe.
Spotlight.
I guess it's more the trailer. I think you're probably talking about the trailer.
Yeah, the big video and everything. I thought it was actually really cool.
For how often we run those in commercials, I still don't know what you're talking about, though, for the Ariel one, I'll be honest. Apparently, I need to pay more attention to audio lines. Simplicity might need to pay more attention to these side lanes, though, because Tempo, they've got a lot of control here. This is about the 4th time.
They're committing a lot to the mid lane. I mean, Stitches went extra damage on his slam, but it's just not able to keep up. And they're losing almost every single lane, and they're committing 2 people here, and Fan is just running rampant, looking for any opportunities.
And Hosty's here to be like, nope, I'm the fun police. Even drops a portal, allows Simplicity to get onto June, and they get themselves first blood.
That is a bit unorthodox way of going about it. They did it. Zuna.
There's no passive, but there's a Medivh.
It's going to fall back and tap Zuna. Have we seen Zuna on Hanzo before? I have no Zuna Hanzo games on record. So this is an interesting thing for me.
Even though you know, Zuna, I feel like he's played so many range, so many melee in his career at this point, and just go like, is he doing damage? Because if so, he's probably at home. He's feeling good. Does he feel like he can do it? And absolutely, Hanzo's a playmaker. You know, that he's got to feel that kind of comfortability on. He did end up going with more, you know, armor shred oriented build rather than the scatter shot that has been kind of iffy on a map like Dragon.
Right now, K1 Pro holding in the bot lane. That's going to open up a double channel. Stitch is there, but Glaurung, he's going to make his way down and interrupt that. You can see Fan, he's taking some serious damage. One of the best things to do against a Tracer is simply auto-attacker. I'm sure there was a Stormbow mixed in there as well because Tracer's health bar got deleted.
Yeah, she has a Pulse Bomb, though. Going to get an invade, too. Cattle is actually, wow, times that Iron Skin last second, keeps himself alive, and the Giants were taken backdoor, if you will, from Simplicity by Tempo Storm. Great job. That's going to force an answer somewhere. Leave additional pressure towards the top half of the map. I expect this is where Tempo's going to get aggressive and either, one, get kills with their Heroics, or two, look to get that Dragonite.
It feels oftentimes when we're on Dragonshire, it's just who wants to push the paints? And oftentimes it's neither team because you have to commit so much, and giving up an early DK, if you lose that, you know, it's a different pacing. This is one of probably, you know, dare say a little bit slower pace than I think a lot of people would hope for. Zuna eating the Pulse Bomb.
Got him.
Got the kill.
Enough to get it there. June's going
Quantum Spike.
secure the remainder of bottom. Malthael will claim top for Simplicity, though. No Dragonite opportunity yet. Maev is going to make the rotation towards top to get the gank on Malthael. I'm pretty sure that's 100% dead Malthael. No way out of that. Especially if he ends up using his... He's got an E teleport away. I don't even know if that's possible. There's the tether. Bring it back. Jet propulsion goes down.
Helping hand.
Helping hand over the wall. Okay, it's not the fact that we got a helping hand over the wall. It's the fact that we got it after a jet propulsion and both of the models overlapped and it still somehow hooks between them. He's like, this is my Malthael. I left it over here. Sorry about that. I'm going to take it back. Thank you.
Zuna taking pressure. I think he just used his Dragon Arrow to get the interrupt. Instead, Cattle ate that at point-blank range. Good body blocking by Cattle. The cleanse going to come out onto Cap there as he's trying to retreat.
The cleanse was real clutch, not only removing from the last second of that entangle, but the tether about to come in. Would have been for sure a dead King Caffeine. Front wall taken down. We'll have this Dragonite for Tempo. Seems like bottom now is going to be their focus. Most common rotation, it seems like, here over the first Dragonite. Mid to bot. Zuna, far too low. Twilight Dream even gets used. Leads to one kill here as Medivh ends up dropping.
Luckily, he had completed his Master's Touch just about 30 seconds before in that mid lane skirmish, so does have that accomplished. So does not drop those stacks. Those will now be there permanently. King Caffeine, he's going to get tethered, as is K1 Pro. He's going to eat a Pulse Bomb. That's going to be Lili going down. They've got their eyes set as Blaze puts down the oil.
Wow.
Charge going in, and the bunker just to try and make sure and get a little bit of extra body block. And they body block Zuna from life there.
Yeah, the kind of a humble abode that is sitting beyond that keep front wall. Tempo Storm not letting anybody pass it yet. They're going to even move up here. Still 10 seconds out till 3 members of Simplicity are even going to be alive to join this. Keep front wall take now. This is one thing I really enjoy about what Tempo Storm does. Hold up, though. That portal might lead to something. I guess with no ley line, not going to be the same initiation capabilities. Is just that they have mid-fort, right? You can cycle mid-fort for that kind of pressure there, but they're like, I mean, a turret and a half a keep front wall. Experience-wise, not only is that surprisingly kind of competitive because of how much more value the keep turrets provide than, you know, even forts themselves are able to produce, but then also, you know, the next Dragonite phase, you can easily take the cycle towards mid, take the fort for free. They just get what they can while they can, and then pick up the easy stuff at a very later, you know, kind of predictable area, especially with the advantages they got.
No 13, Simplicity looking like they're going to back away of these already sent Malthael. And this is the part early to mid game, and we're at the mid game now, where they make a double play. This time they're actually invading. They're taking Siege Giants and they're taking the Knights from the bottom. They're not just going to push in for the keep wall. They're going to push in for an entire keep here. And King Caffeine on that front side has used the Putrid Vial, not the Gorge we anticipated.
Glaurung ended up using the jet propulsion as well with the Dragon Arrow that was sent out. 13s are here now for Simplicity, trying to thwart away the attempts from Tempo Storm. When do they pull the trigger? Malthael able to get the cleanse and keep himself alive from that Warden's Cage. Not going to go in. Still just able to get the defense. Tempo Storm still keepless here on the bottom half.
I mean, that really is going to make it easy. If they get the next Dragon Knight, that keep falls, and depending on when that plays, unless Simplicity turns it around, you know, that could potentially be ending. There's the hook in. Nice ice block there from June. The Twilight Dream in response blows up Hosty. Zuna, he's going to fall as well as Fan making plays. Last Right's finally going to get a takedown in this battle as June ends up falling.
Really good job there to try and get this escape from Prismat. It's not going to keep him alive, but yeah, I mean, you could see the creativity attempt there. Go in the, you know, shrub, throw out the E, use the W max range, maybe get it to the minion and be able to teleport kite out. Not going to be the case, though. Good job of at least forcing that trade to be a 1 for 3 there with that last right attempt. Calf now kind of on an island up top. He's going to wait until this gets captured, then the rotation back to mid, and then you wait till they move off, then you go in. Yeah, this is an old school Dragonshire trick for anybody who doesn't know. If you know you aren't going to win the DK, yeah, and then you abuse the fact that they get overly confident. Now you lose it. But it's pretty much a free 5 to 10 seconds on any Dragon Knight phase because no one defends that shrub.
Putrid Bile ended up being used there. That's not going to stop Cattle down here as he does pick up the DK. Now, is it a matter of, look, we're playing for the long game because ending with a Dragon Knight at this phase is incredibly difficult. So play for, get the experience mid fort, then rotate down, take bottom keep, and now the world is your oyster. You can pretty much play anything. And this is why the DK obviously doesn't have a ton of health. He's already eaten about half of it.
Yeah, that was a lot of damage for free. I'm going to say definitely too much damage for free at this point in time. This bottom keeps dead no matter what the DK's HP is at, but it's definitely no core threat whatsoever. Whereas Tempo Storm maybe normally would be looking for it. If they get a couple of kills, maybe. Hosty's going to eat a pulse bomb. Ends up going down there. No force of will used, or it was off cooldown. Either way, he goes down Psalm. Ends up using that Warden's Cage, using the 1,000 Cups to keep it alive. K1 Pro doing his best there, but unable to keep alive Zuna. 2 members down, and Tempo, they start doing damage to core.
Well, we didn't think the Dragon Knight could, but the rest of Tempo Storm had other ideas as they've used all of their heroes, and they're starting to blow up the side of Simplicity. King Caffeine looking like he's going to be the next to fall. And that should do it as Tempo Storm comes out again in dominant fashion, dropping 2 kills this game, but 11 on their side were obtained. Oh, make that 12.
Tempo doing the Dragonshire dance as dominantly as ever. Able to just really from almost beginning to end of that game, gain control, cycle around, keep, I mean, really Simplicity just chasing them down, trying to just beg that they can get on the same talents here. That one fight, you saw the desperation, that one with the track down of, you know, Malthael going out as far as he could, but that's really just the, oh man, we got to this point, now this is going to be our best case more than it is anything else. Tempo Storm here. It's looking to be able to take the series clean 3-0. And at this point, I want to say, you know, other than, you know, Tempo Storm maybe getting too confident, I feel like Simplicity, I can't even begin to go, like, here's the strength. This is what they're going to rely on. It's just, let's be real here. They admitted it. We've all known, you know, coming in with the new adjustments, having Prismat, it was going to be rough. Tempo, as dominant as it is, but Tempo's not letting up, right? Like, there's no moment where it's like, ooh, did you see in this moment? It's been like, it's been clean, other than maybe that top rotation giving King Caffeine 5 seconds. That was a debatably easy, common tactic you could have avoided. But that's, again, very harsh feedback and criticism.
Well, there's going to be some sad folks out there. Medivh Lili, no longer undefeated. Poor Lili.
I can tell you this Lili is happy. That is not successful.
So you're not a believer?
No, I'm not a believer. I still can't say that properly. You know, I'm a bit more of a fan of it than I've been in the past, mainly because of the cleanse and how they've changed her heals. Like, there's been a lot of Lili changes that have made her a lot more viable, but she's still on that, you know, tier 2, tier 3. We're going to go to a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to have game 3 here between Simplicity and Tempo Storm.